for work, and it is now time to open my Apple Watch. I'm over the moon. This is my current one. This is the Series 3. Yeah, Series 3 I got back in, I think it was before the pandemic, so I think like 2019. It got me through like my first few college classes or whatever, but like as of right now, it just obviously can no longer update. So we're hanging her up. Band first. I went back and forth between getting the larger one, but I was just like, even with jewelry, I like really dainty things. I don't want a huge thing on my wrist. I think this is literally perfect. Okay, I thought I was gonna regret it. Here's her before. Oh my god, wait, how do you get to a different face? See, that's how long it's been. Oh, do you swipe now? No? I'm so confused. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I know, I was literally looking for a price.
I don't know.
I'm genuinely upset.
She had us, but damn it, Ruby.
That is not her name. So it's been a while since I've updated my iPad's home screen. I'm going to clear it completely and then start adding the widgets and apps that I want. I think the only thing I won't change is the wallpaper, but other than that, we'll do a complete refresh. like a few months ago, around the same time I took my other test. So yeah, I think this will be cute, right? I don't know. I mean, it's huge and unnecessary, but I'm going to double check that I have everything. I will pass. Do well. It was never like a want of mine. I would drive a little bit like around my old high school, but it was nothing that I was like gung-ho about, like really excited to try and learn. It wasn't until around quarantine, it was like 2020-ish, that I actually tried to learn, and it was that year that I got into an accident. And I think it was the combination of still learning to drive and being very anxious about driving still that really messed me up and kept me from trying again. So that was at the end of 2020. 2021 in January we moved to Austin, and we were in the Domain area. Now if you know anything about the Domain, these people, like, I'm not saying I am the best driver in the world, but like I don't know what it is, like it's so crowded. People do not care about like right of way. They're always speeding in like a very like compact area. So there was just no way I wanted to even think about driving while we were living there. I was working at Whole Foods at the time, and I would drive home from work every now and again, literally like a handful of times. It wasn't a lot. We eventually moved. This is 2023. We moved to a calmer area. And that September, I was at my lowest of lows, and I was kind of like, nothing's going to feel worse than this. I may as well start driving. So that's when I kind of bit the bullet and started driving again in September. And I did feel a lot better being in this area rather than being down at the Domain. So September to December, I practiced driving, and I take my test at the end of December. I forgot to put on my blinkers when I was parallel parking, and I rolled a stop sign. We were leaving the neighborhood. There was a stop sign and like oncoming traffic. There was no one there, so I only stopped once and then I just kind of eased onto the road, not knowing I was supposed to stop twice. So obviously we got back to the DMV and he's like, I'm gonna have to fail you. You roll over a stop sign. And I was like, you're wrong. I was like, no, I actually didn't. So like on one hand, I didn't like confront him or anything. I knew he was ultimately right. On one hand, I was like, I know I didn't roll over a stop sign. Like I know I didn't miss one. And then on the other hand, I was like, okay, I must have missed one if, like, I obviously failed for a reason. Such a sweet, kind old man, but I did fail, rightfully so. My confidence was shot, and I think I just like enjoyed the holidays after that. I was like, I'm just gonna give myself a break. Got back on the road in January, and I let myself be convinced that I only like worked on it for like a month and a half, 3 months. But in reality, from January to May, driving down to the DMV to like practice during the weekends, drove around neighborhoods, obviously on the road. I practiced at the school, and it was just very hard, especially with my confidence being shot after failing already. Yeah, ended up taking my second test in May, at the end of May, and I don't know what this lady had against me. I don't know what I did to her. I think she was just having a very bad day at work. Me being there was such an inconvenience to her. Like, she just did not like me. Like, the whole time we were like checking the car and like getting the insurance and everything, she just like, her energy. I was smiling, like saying thank you. She was like straight faced, monotone, or like wouldn't say anything at all. And so that upped my anxiety by 10 billion%. I watched a few videos of like people getting their license for the first time, and I genuinely think like the instructor makes such a difference. Unless like you're the most confident person in the world and nothing faces you, if you have like a negative instructor, it just makes everything so much worse. And not that it was completely her fault that I failed, but her energy definitely did not help. So we had started the test. I drove forward, she made me back up, get into another lane, and then she had me parallel park. And it's so, before, like when I was practicing, I was asked like, oh, did you practice parallel parking? And I was like, why would I practice parallel? Like, I'm such a pro at parallel parking. I don't need to practice. Like, that's how good I am. Like, there's no point in practicing because I'm so good at it. And I was. Every time I practiced, I would do it like perfectly. And so I go to parallel park, I get in front of the cone, or the pole. I move my wheel over and I go to back up, but I go forward. Tried my best to readjust. Did not do a good job at all. Because when I went, actually put it in reverse and backed up, the right side of the car hit the pole. It was the worst. It was the worst feeling. I think because I was driving down to that DMV to practice the route, and like I knew it, and I didn't even get to like try. It was just very disheartening and upsetting. And yeah, I like rinsed around back to the parking lot, and it was like my mom with my sister on FaceTime. And I just like immediately started crying. So from June to August, I keep looking for appointments and just nothing pops up. I was able to ask at the DMV. It had to do with like a lot of like high schoolers or kids that were out for summer trying to get their license. He was like, yeah, it was just really hard to get an appointment. It was best to do like the first come first serve thing, which made my nerves even worse. So that's why I didn't do that. So yeah, the entire summer could not get an appointment. August, at the end of summer, I finally checked again. Now, today I have my license. I don't know, since I was like 16, I've dealt with like a lot of criticism when it comes to my license, and then eventually being like 18, 19, like my living situation, staying with my mom. And I don't know, like I love my family, I love them, but like the whole like, oh, like Jayla's never gonna get her license, or this person has their license and they're younger than you, this person's the same age as you and they have their license. And it's like, if you don't have driving anxiety, you'll just never get it. And kudos, like I'm glad that you don't get it, but it's genuinely so terrifying and really hard to come out of, especially after having an accident. I don't know, I'm not like mad at these people for making these like criticisms or jokes. I know that they were not coming from a malicious place, but I just don't think my mind was able to filter them in a positive way. it just felt more like a little bit like condescending and not very supportive. My immediate family, like my mom and my sister, have always been like so supportive, and like I've never been like afraid to tell them that I failed or anything like that. But I think for a really long time, especially my first two road tests, I was really trying to prove myself to others and not so much to myself. My instructor, he was just so, I literally love him. He was so kind. Like we were having like a conversation, like he was telling me about like a good car to get for my first car, telling me about like transmissions and all of this. Like he was just like chatting. He was so nice. I genuinely did feel like he was rooting for me and wanted me to pass. We did the whole test, and then we get back to the DMV. He was like, you did really, really well. And I like, I think once I get my actual card, everything will come to me. But like, I'm still in shock. He said the only thing he docked me for was the parallel parking, which is hilarious. It was one of the first things we did. Like I think he just had me go forward, back up, and then we did the parallel parking before we like did the route. And I was so nervous. Like that was the main thing I was nervous about, and I was so glad to get it out of the way. But I was nervous about either hitting the pole again or like bumping into the curb or something. So when I parked, I had 2 attempts. I only did 1, and I was like, I'm done. Like that's it. He said everything else was great, and I just like thanked him so much for being so nice. I wish I vlogged like telling my family that I passed, but after I got like my temporary license, the little printed out paper, I was so focused on not screwing up after like leaving that I wasn't even thinking about like recording or anything like that. Oh my god, guys, a road test. I've been thinking about a road test for an entire, like seriously, for like an entire year, since September. But yeah, got back. I was so excited I could barely park. But yeah, I told my family. I was also trying to think like if I wanted to prank them and like pretend that I failed, but I was way too excited. I couldn't keep it in. It had a lot to do with just like fully believing in myself and believing that I can do it, and only doing it for me and not because of someone else's like words or like thoughts about me. It was very hard to like push all of that aside, but I'm really glad that I always knew I could do it. Like I was literally before the test I was like doing the very like calming breaths and like saying my manifestations or the like my affirmations, like you're a good driver, you're a confident driver, you're gonna pass. Like I've never been more like in tune with my energies before, and it worked, and I'm so happy and so thankful for like my support system. And I don't know, I think everyone, I think I said this already, but I think everyone will always have something to say. No matter how much you succeed in other areas, it's very easy to pinpoint where someone is like lacking. I just feel like with things like a driver's license or living with your parents or not really knowing what you want to do with your life like in the future, I feel like everything does happen for a reason. And then as far as me like living with my mom, could I move out? Yes. But I guess like financially it doesn't make much sense. Like, I mean, and logically it doesn't make much sense. I just have my entire life ahead of me to live on my own, and where I am now, like it's just my mom and I. We have our 2 dogs that we share. Share is such a weird word. If I were to move out, I would be here all the time, again, for my dogs and for my mom. I'd also still be very, very close by, just like for safety reasons. So like at the moment, it simply doesn't make sense. Eventually down the line, I do want my own place to decorate and just have my own space and everything. I totally get that. But again, I have my entire life ahead of me. The only thing that would make me move out sooner than another like year or so would be if she wanted to move somewhere else, to like a state that I didn't want to live in, or if she like wanted to live with her boyfriend, then I would get my own place, or if I were to get engaged. I think that's the only way those are the only 3 ways that I would leave sooner. And it makes so much more sense to just not pay rent and save and be able to live so much more comfortably. And I know that that's all that my mom wants for me, but not right now. Not for at least another year, I'm sure. Again, I have never been this proud of myself. I'm so thankful for everyone around me and just thankful for me accomplishing this really, really big goal after so long. So weird. It still has not sunk in yet. My battery's about to die. Okay. That means I've talked for way too long. Yeah, I don't know what I want to do with the rest of my day. I think I was just anticipating the whole road test situation. So now that it's over, I can like actually breathe. So yeah, this is updating. I'm gonna download the game. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to re-download. And then thank you. You as well. So for another quick mini haul, the first thing I got was some body wash. I just ran out, so I needed a little bit more. And from the same brand, I got this, I don't know how to say that. I love what this has done for my skin, so I figured I can get the lotion. I'm still gonna use my EOS one, but I think this will also be very good for me. I guess we can continue with the body care. I normally get this from Sephora. I do like the 1-day delivery, but this is my second time getting it from Amazon, so I'm like, works for me. This is my Glossier Super Bounce that I use whenever I wash my face. Needed that so desperately. I am on a mission to update my wardrobe in general, but big time on my pajamas because I keep wearing really like big shirts. I don't know, I just like feeling cute when I go to sleep. So it's just a really simple cami and then paired with some shorts. I have a Pilates class coming up soon, and I eventually am going to start taking like monthly classes. So I decided to get some more Pilates socks. These are like kind of big though. I felt that way. Okay, so I got these socks as well for the same reason. I was gonna wear these. They're like really cute ruffle ones, and then put the Pilates socks over them. But why are they this big? They look huge. This is my other PJ set. Well, not set, it's a onesie. I don't know how big it's gonna be. I got a small, but I don't know, I feel like it may be a little baggy. Similar to my gratitude journal, I saw that they had a self-care journal as well, and I have been actually doing very well at like taking care of myself as of late, and I kind of wanted to hold myself accountable and make sure I keep that going. I'm gonna go ahead and put all of this away and go ahead and finally make my bed. I've been just sleeping with one pillow and it's not my favorite. I like having a pillow to lay on and then also having pillows surrounding me, so the one pillow, it feels very lonely and I don't like it.